What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest piece of One Piece, chapter 1096, entitled Kumachi. Yeah, it looks like Kumachi. Either way, sorry about the lateness of this review, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said in the Kengan review, and as you can tell from the background, I got new office furniture, and it's quite nice, isn't it? It's quite solid, quite pretty finish on it and stuff like that. So, either way, that's the reason the computer was just simply down and not rehooked up and stuff for about 4 or 5 days this week. And I'm still working on it, but yeah, I got the computer up and running, so let's catch up on some reviews. Let's talk some One Piece. And a lot of people, for some reason, not really caring for this chapter that much. And it's sort of like, well, what did you expect? You know, I'm a simple guy with simple pleasures, okay? At the end of the day, I got to see... I'm happy enough seeing, you know, a younger... We've never seen Roger without his mustache, by the way. Or, well, we have, but, like, this is a Roger young enough where he has stubble and stuff, but he doesn't have the full mustache or anything quite yet. That kind of idea, right? We get to see, like, all these different forces. So we have God's Knights, the Marines, because Garp shows up. We have the Rocks crew. We don't get to see Rocks yet. A lot of people disappointed, but I'm sure we're saving that for a reason. And we have, you know, so the Marines, we have Garp, we have the Rocks Pirates, we have Roger's crew, we have the God's Knights, we have all this stuff. It's just crazy. I mean, they're still playing this Hunger Games crap, which, once again, is definitely in line with the Celestial Dragons. The Celestial Dragons would definitely come up with such a terrible fucking idea as the Hunger Games, and then write a book about it, and then also, you know, make a bunch of bad movies about it. Yeah. The Celestial Dragons are that level of evil. Yeah. Either way, so we see this, you know, that they're going down, and of course, Shanks' apparent dad, and so and this is the problem with films, because obviously this would have been a much bigger reveal or something like that had, you know, and we'd be theorizing about how he's related to Shanks and stuff, but now, because of the film Red and stuff, I'm just not the hugest fan when they do things like that outside of the manga, but it is what it is. Either way, we get fun, and I assume at this point Kong is the fleet admiral. I mean, he, you know, because he's giving orders to Garp, and I assume Garp at this point might be a vice admiral. But that being said, there's no actual telling whether that's the case or not. Maybe Kong's merely an admiral, and Garp could be, I don't know, a rear admiral at this point or something like that. And we don't see Sengoku, so it's hard to tell, but either way, Garp is relaxing on vacation, and this is, of course, what Sengoku talked about, because it's happening at God Valley and stuff, and this is where Kong's basically like, listen, you gotta get out there. He goes, you guys poke the damn beehive. I ain't getting involved. Listen, I like fighting, but, like, because Garp's opinion here at the beginning of the chapter is great. I love this interaction, because Kong's basically like, okay, so he's like, alright, the Celestial Dragons are doing that bullshit thing with the slaves and killing random people because they're assholes. They're doing their Hunger Games crap, which I'm not for. I don't agree with it. So if you pissed off the Beehive, if you pissed off the Pirate Paradise, and Hajinosu's coming at the Celestial Dragons, what's 20 Celestial Dragons' death gonna do? It's a good thing. I don't give a fuck. You pissed off the pirates. I ain't getting involved. Let them kill them. Because they're going to. Like, Garp's of the opinion, this is awesome because the Celestial Dragons are all gonna die. He's like, anyone participating in this is going to die because Rocks is on the move. Awesome. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Then all I got to deal with is worry about the pirates afterwards. You know, like, he does not care. And good on Garp. I'm with Garp on this one. It's like, yeah, this is actually awesome. We don't need to get involved. None of our people have to die. And, you know, like, none of my guys got to die or risk their lives. And, you know, it all works out. It sort of works out. I mean, granted, there's still a Marine escort and stuff, and you can argue that there's still loss of good lives and stuff. But once again, Garp can't go there and save all the slaves and the people of God's Valley against the Celestial Dragons, so he's like, I ain't getting involved. Then he says, well, Roger's on the move too, and Garp's like, well, you should have told me that. Now I gotta go. So that's his main motivation. He doesn't give a shit about the Rocks crew. He does give a shit about Roger. So at this point, of course, they're already rivals. And so he heads out. Now, the thing is it's funny that Garp is sitting there, like, not giving a crap on vacation, and then it's like, Roger's mentioned, boom, we gotta go. Now, apparently, somebody, CP0, somebody went into the island, we don't know how, and stole either one of I assume it's the Azure Dragon Fruit is the one that they had, but maybe it was both. They had those 2 devil fruits. It was their prized possession. It was this cool thing, which I always find it weird that people, just like Shanks, keeping the Gumma Gumma no Mi to himself so anybody could eat it. It's like, why are you keeping a devil fruit unless you're already a devil fruit user, which once again, the Rock Screw, I mean, does everybody have a devil fruit on the Rock Screw? Well, once again, Kaido doesn't yet at this point and stuff, right? So the idea that you keep a devil fruit as a prize where anybody could just come snatch it and then eat it, and it's a superpower thing like the Azure Dragon Fruit and stuff, is like, why are you keeping this fruit? Why aren't you literally finding someone to give it to immediately? You know? It's sort of like if you're playing Pokemon and you have a Thunderstone and your Pikachu's learned all its moves and stuff, and yes, there's the anime touching thing for that, so let's use another Pokemon or something. You have a Nidorino, okay? You have a Nidorino, and you have a Moonstone, and you choose not to evolve him for the entire game. You have a Moonstone. You could have a Nidoking. Better stats, better move pool, better everything. You choose to keep him a Nidorino for no good reason. Not some emotional attachment like Pikachu in the show and stuff like that. None of that shit. You literally have something to make somebody more powerful and choose not to. And then you get butthurt when somebody takes your Moonstone away. It's like, but it was useless. You literally put it on a pedestal where it couldn't be used. You know, like, that was stupid. So, granted, I don't think it would eventually, Rocks would have figured out somebody to eat it, probably. And it might have still been Kaido, who knows. But the fact that they keep these fruits as prizes or as trophies, and then they get mad when all of a sudden someone's like, well, I really want that fucking fruit. I'd be powerful. That'd be awesome. And they're shocked. It's like, it's not the fact that it was stolen. It's the nerve to be surprised that someone's going to come after you for that fucking superpowered zone fruit. Go figure, right? It's a mythical zone fruit that turns you into a fucking dragon. Of course people are going to be after it. So, the nerve to be surprised, the nerve to be shocked and appalled is just sort of, yeah. And either way, so they go to the island and stuff, so the Rock Screw finds out. We find out that this is caused because Ivankov is there giving his speech, he's doing his thing, and he's like, they are villains, and the Celestial Dragons will not let you leave. I have spoken and stuff, and they're talking all about that shit. Gives a very good speech about how the Celestial Dragons are evil, and like the survival for 3 weeks thing doesn't happen. Celestial Dragons will never let that occur. And we see the God's Knights going forth and stuff. Now, Jenny, who's obviously by the end of the chapter we know ends up being definitely Bonnie's mother. It's also left ambiguous whether Ivankov and Jenny are actual brother and sister or not. I'm not going to confirm. I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to say that either way. It could just be a term of endearment or affection or something like that. Maybe they grew up as slaves together, or they are literal brother and sister. Who knows? Either way, Jenny's the one who let it, she's an expert wiretapper and all this stuff with the Den Mushies, so she was able to broadcast what's going on and what the prizes are, which of course is the Pawpaw Fruit and the Azure Dragon Fruit. So, and she explains all this and she lets it be known to the world. So that's how Roger finds out, that's how Rox finds out, that's how the Marines found out that it was leaked, that's how everybody found out. So very good for a young slave girl to be able to do that with the Den Mushies. Very, very talented. And so their whole idea, which is a good plan. Ivankov has a really good plan here. He's like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a diversion, because that always works out well. Make a distraction. We are going to go take those fruits, and with those fruits, either one will be able to get the hell out of here, because the one that turns us into a dragon, we can all jump on your back and fly in peace. And the one with the Pawpaw Fruit can, bam, instant transport. It doesn't matter. Either way, if we have the opportunity for both, but we only need one. But either way, we're going to eat both fruits. We're going to take them, so Ivankov obviously doesn't have his devil fruit yet, neither does Kuma, etc., etc. So like, we're going to go steal the fruits, we're going to eat the fruits, and we're going to escape this island. That's our only chance for freedom. It's a good plan, really. So they need a distraction and all this stuff, and they're hoping with the leaked information they might get a good distraction. either way, Kuma, being one of the Buccaneers tribe and stuff, he agrees because his size and his durability and stuff. He's like, I will be the distraction, because a lot of people are hesitating to be the distraction. He says, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. It's all to help people and stuff like that. And Ivanka's like, well said, Kuma. You're my kind of guy. And that's when, of course, the Rocks crew ends up showing up. They're sinking all these damn ships, the marine ships and stuff. The detail was clearly not enough for this type of crew. Now, here's the cool thing. We don't see Rocks. So Rocks apparently rushed up ahead saying, follow my lead, crew. And Rocks is rushing ahead, supposedly. We don't see Rocks in this panel, of course. We don't even see him silhouetted, but we see a couple other people silhouetted. But we see there's Whitebeard, there's Shiki the Golden Lion, there's Big Mom, there's Kaido, there's like everyone, there's John, and there's of course Wang Ji is here somewhere. I'm not sure where, but we do see Captain John. We see Gloriosa is here. Now Gloriosa, maybe she was in love with somebody on the crew. Maybe she was in love with Rocks. We don't know. Was she in love with, but there's an implication that she might be actually in love with Whitebeard. So that's interesting. And we don't see hide nor hair of a certain mama who's pretending that she has Whitebeard's kid. But either way, it's awesome because Whitebeard's like, first off, because Rocks is like, come on, crew, let's follow my lead. And he's just like, when the hell did I... Because remember, the Rocks crew might be a crew, and Whitebeard, it's been explained many times, so we all know that it didn't function well because too many captains, not enough crew, right? And as a result, because all these guys are captains, by the end of their own individual stories and stuff, right? So they're all captains of their own major crews. So the thing is that it's one of the things about the Rocks crew is that they're more of a crew in name only. Like none of they go because they're all collected on the pirate paradise. They've all found themselves there, and it's more opportunity and circumstance. They're not an official real crew in the strictest sense, And as we know, because they all end up disbanding like right after this. So and Whitebeard immediately says, "Don't rush ahead, Rocks." And he goes, "And since when did I say you could give me any orders and stuff?" So Whitebeard's already like challenging Rocks, like, "Rocks, you're an idiot, and no, I am not no. Forget it. I'm not listening to a damn thing you say." So right away, Whitebeard's like, "No, I'm not listening." And then Stussy is there being like, "Oh, you're like, you don't listen to him either? Like, what's going on?" And Gloriosa says, "Back off, Stussy. You're only making a fool of yourself." Says, "That's rich coming from you, Gloriosa," meaning that there's an implication there that, of course, like Boa did before her, that Gloriosa, who looks, of course, quite good, Gloriosa is also in love with Whitebeard, saying that's back off, Stussy. You're only making a fool of yourself. That's rich coming from you. It implies that Gloriosa makes a fool of herself in front of Newgate. However, it might not have to do with Newgate at all. She could be saying, "Oh, that's rich coming from you," and the sentence could easily read like, you make a fool of yourself in front of Rocks. You make yourself in front of Roger. You make yourself in front of whomever, right? It might not necessarily be Newgate, but it might not be Whitebeard. But either way, it's cool to see Gloriosa was part of the crew here. Now that's been confirmed. We see Stussy. Then we see, of course, a young Big Mom looking amazing. And Big Mom, of course, already has her soul fruit. Shiki's already got his floating fruit and stuff from what we see, and Kaido's there in the back. Big Mom's going after the fruits for herself and stuff, and Kaido's like, "Hey, it'd be pointless in your hands, Lin." And like, "No, I'm taking the fruits. I do not care." And this is where we get to see everyone have their little moment. We see, Whitebeard saying, "The moron Rocks is bound to lose sight of our main goal. We got to confirm it's here." So Whitebeard's only here because we're like, Whitebeard wants to get the fruits back. He's like, well, our main goal here isn't to fight the Marines. Our main goal here is to go get the fruits and get out of here. And Shiki is the first one to say, just like Whitebeard before, I'm like, Who died and put you in charge? I ain't listening. You all blow you all away. And sort of idea, right? And it's like, so once again, the Whitebeard doesn't listen to rocks. Nobody, and Shiki's not listening to Whitebeard and stuff. So it's just a disorganized mess. Then Big Mom is like, I'm going to snatch it from all of you pathetic losers and stuff like that. So they're all hot and heavy, you know, in that regard. And then Kaido says, looks like Roger is on his way, and he's the one person that I'm gonna fight. And Big Mom's like, one thing at a time, rookie. You know, so Kaido's powerful at this point, but he's still just a rookie, and he's like, Roger's the one I have to fight, you know. So Stussy, we have Captain John, we have Gloriosa. They're like, we're gonna settle this all. We see two other people, clearly Silver Axe and Wang Ji there in the background. They're silhouetted. We sort of can make them out, but we don't get a full shot and exactly who they are. There's no name cards and stuff, right? So the Rocks cruise makes landfall and stuff like that. So this is enough of a distraction, as Ivankov will bring up later. Then we see Roger, as I said, without his signature mustache, looking much more, you know, he's got the open shirt, his chest out, he's got his sword, and he's just like, let's go. There's Rayleigh, there's Scopper Gabon, there he's got his hat, and they're like, let's go. You know, so Roger looking pretty studly, Roger looking awesome, and he's like, he mentions something which is odd. He says, finally, do you have any idea how I felt this past year? Odd thing to say, because he's not dying yet, by the way. You know, he's not dying for a while after this. So, finally, do you have any idea how I felt this past year? Implying that he's been looking for an opportunity to fight against the God's Knights, the Rocks crew, meet up with them, something about wanting to fight Rocks again or something. Rayleigh even mentions, this looks pretty rough, and stuff like that, and I think it's Scopper who shouts, Roger, no using the captain card to call dibs this time, okay? Either implying about the fruit, so they're going after the Azure Dragon or the Pawpaw fruit, implying that Roger used the captain card to call dibs on some bounty sometime, or on who's gonna fight who, maybe. It might be about the devil fruits. It might be about, you know, like, oh, who's gonna fight Rocks? Me, I'm calling, and I'm the captain, so I make the decisions. Maybe that was it. No idea. And of course, the God Knights are still here, and they're like, all right, we must protect the Celestial Dragons. Let's fight, you know. So Shanks's obvious, likely dad is involved too, fighting against. So this is just a crazy, crazy incident. The God Valley incident. It's so cool. And then we have, so Roger and Garps are here, and the God Knights. No, that's not quite enough. We have every major player in the verse all in here. Yeah, no, we need to add Garp. We need to add Garp. So then they show up with Bogart and Garp, and once again, a lot of people are upset that Bogart didn't do more in Hajinosu before, and I'm disappointed by that as well. I straight up think Oda just forgot. Because now we see that Bogart has been here under Garp, with Garp. His right-hand man has been with Garp since the God Valley incident. He was there. He survived. I mean, the guy has to be strong. I'm just saying. Either way, he's got his Conqueror's hockey up, and he's like, where the hell is Roger? So, boom, they're all going. And with all these distractions, Kuma didn't really need to make a distraction, so they actually do get their hands on the fruit. So, Kuma's got the Pawpaw fruit. Ivankov has the Azura Dragon fruit. And it's like, holy shit, Ivankov was this close to becoming Kaido. And then but Big Mom shows up right away, slams Ivankov into the ground and be like, no, I'm taking it. And she wants the other one too. And she's reaching for it while she's holding Ivankov down. And that's when Ivankov shows, Kuma, don't think, just eat it. And he eats it. And boom, he gets the Pawpaw fruit, right? And you can do this. We have a victory and stuff like that. So Big Mom's like, ah, damn it. So she ends up with the Azure Dragon fruit, obviously. Once we don't know, because it said it saved Kaido's life, like, I'm the one who saved your life and sort of idea. So I assume that giving him the devil fruit allowed him to get away from something, like because she does possess the fruit. This is where she got it. And now she's going to end up giving it to Kaido to likely save him. I'm not sure why. We don't know. We don't find out this chapter. And then randomly, this is the problem with the paneling, is that, alright, so boom, we can call this a victory over them and stuff. So Kuma eats the fruit, and then randomly St. Saturn's there. And it's like, wait, what? Like, where's Big Mom, by the way? Like, where's Big Mom? Because St. Saturn's showing up in the flames and stuff like that. It seems like we jumped ahead with... It was just poor positioning for the paneling, because randomly St. Saturn's there and knocks Kuma on his ass. And it's just like, well, wait a minute now. And he's just as old and stuff, so we know that they probably had the immortal surgery, blah, blah, blah. But he showed up here, so he's here at God Valley. But where's Big Mom? Big Mom would obviously want to take down one of, the celestial dragons. I mean, just for the kicks, the lulz alone. So, St. Saturn's pretty bold to just show up. So it seems to me like he might have used the pawpaw fruit. This is happening afterwards. Like, he's like, yeah, now run and save people on the island. And then later on, as he was saving people, because we find out later he saved like 500 people or something, or he saved a lot of people. So I'm assuming this is happening later, like hours later, and he runs into St. Saturn, and he says, you're the Buccaneer survivor, and all this stuff, You can either live as a slave or die. The choice is yours and stuff. And then Kuma brings up the idea that there's no point in being born at all if you're just going to be a slave. You're just going to be treated like shit and stuff. So I'm going to use this strange power I just obtained, save as many people as I can, just like Nika would. And this is where St. Saturn's just like, Doom, that is why you people need to be eradicated. That is why you people need to be erased. And it's like, Jesus. And then we're jumping away from that scene. How he got away from St. Saturn, we have no idea. Once again, the pawpaw fruit. Can Kuma literally just tap his own paw and bing, and take himself off the island? Because if that's the case, yeah, I can see him getting away. I just don't think we've ever seen him use the pawpaw fruit to make himself transport. But anyways, then we just get a quick show of just dialogue bubbles. We see the Conqueror's hockey all over God's Valley saying, hold it, Rocks. You're in my way, Roger. And that's the end. That's it. So he went straight after Rocks, and Rocks said, you're in my way, Roger. And that's the end. So we don't see the God Valley incident. Now this fateful incident would soon be obscured by the shadows of history. Then we jump away to the kingdom of Sorbet in the South Blue, and everybody's escaped, yada, yada, yada. Here's the big thing here. A lot of people don't like the fact that we didn't see the whole God Valley thing. Now, that's a bit of a fair complaint, to a degree. Yes, would have been nice to have seen Rocks in full form, right? So we have a design for him and stuff. Of course it would. But Oda's obviously saving it for another reveal. Would have been nice to see the whole God Valley incident. Yes, but this flashback is Kuma's story. We're following Kuma and what happened to Kuma. This is Kuma's backstory, Kuma's flashback. The sprinkling of the God Valley stuff and getting to see a few other extra scenes involved is more of a, here you go, fans. We know, I know you guys are waiting for it and you're really patient and stuff, but here you, well, they're impatient as fuck as a fan base, but here you go. You get to see Whitebeard, you get to see Shiki, here's Roger, here's Garp, blah, blah, blah. Showcasing, giving us a few sprinkles on our Sunday. That's all. That's all Oda was doing with this. This is still Kuma's backstory, still Kuma's story. So, at the end of the day, we are probably going to get a full God Valley flashback. A lot of people say we won't see Mihawk versus Shanks. Maybe not. But we're more than likely going to see, because I'm sure many incidents, other important information, will have happened on God Valley. So, we're probably going to get that at some point. 100%. We're going to get that at some point. But now is not the time for it. Right now is not the time for the flashback. Right now is not the time for the Kuma backstory. This is terrible placement by Oda to begin with. This should have been done before Kizaru showed up on the island in Egghead. We could have gotten this. So, it's bad placement already. Outside of turning a Kuma flashback and a St. Saturn memories and flashback into all about Roger and Garp and Rocks, that's even more out of place. Yes, are we hyped for it? Of course we are, and we will eventually see it. But the fact of the matter is that this is about Egghead Island. This is about Kuma. This is about St. Saturn. It's not got anything really to do with God Valley in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? In the strictest of senses. So we got some sprinkles on top of our Sundays, as I already said. So I'm not that upset by it, because I have no doubt we're going to see the whole God Valley incident eventually. So Or at least the majority of it. Enough of it that we'll be satisfied, right? So, either way, I'm not that upset by it. They do go into a church. Religion in One Piece. It's a funny thing. I know Tekking's talked about it many times. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the religion debate and stuff, but at least we get an idea as to why he's praying, why he carries around the Bible and stuff, because he goes, you know, you saved so many people, you know? You saved 500 people during that. And he's just like, I'm praying for all the souls I wasn't able to save. And he's like, you shouldn't be so down on yourself, man. You saved so many. So they're in this church and stuff like that. And once again, the reason, and it's, you can call it like plot convenience or whatever, but Ivankov even says, we have no idea, even we don't, like, because they're covering it up as like, so, they're only reporting on Garp's heroism. They're not, you know, that Morgans, that big news Morgans is such a hack of a guy, right? Because they're saying, we don't know what actually happened on that island. We have no idea. So once again, it's Kuma's flashback. If Kuma doesn't have the information, of course Kuma knows that the Roger Pirates showed up, that, you know, Rock showed up and stuff because he was there for that. But he doesn't know all the details. He doesn't know all the facts of what went down. So we're not going to get all the information. So you can call it plot convenience, but Ivankov mentions, like, even we don't know exactly what happened because we were too busy trying to escape with the pawpaw fruit. So they escape. And he calls his pawpaw fruit hands the hands of liberation. And Kuma is taken aback by that. He's like, wow, do you think so? And so, thinking, living in a church, it definitely suits your personality and stuff. And Ivankov says, I'm off to sea. I'm going to go bask in my freedom and stuff. Do you guys want to come along? And, Kuma's like, no, I'm going to stay here and stuff. And Jenny says, I'm going to live here. I'm not coming, big brother. I'm going to stay with Kuma and stuff and figure out what I want to do with my life. And so Ivankov leaves on a ship, and he obviously ends up running into Dragon at some point. But here we have Jenny and Kuma. And Jenny, obviously, with the big eating attitude and stuff like that, she's clearly Jewelry Bonnie's mother and stuff. So this is how they met. Isn't that nice? So either way, they work hard each day. They're doing stuff. Jenny's got a bit of that, spunk that Bonnie has, and Kuma's just using his powers to help people and all that fun stuff. And they're just happy to be free. They cried tears of joy at the end of the flashback, being like, I'm just so happy that we're finally free. Like, we can eat and we don't need to worry and stuff like that. It's just, it's a nice time. It's a nice sentiment, honestly. Like, so Kuma's backstory, and the good thing about this is that, yes, we know what happened to Kuma, and we obviously, Jenny's probably not around anymore and stuff, but we also have to think that he had a horrible childhood, painful, horrible, the likes of which, like, there's no way for me to relate to that, there's no way for a lot of people who have access to YouTube to relate to what, so it's absolutely disheartening. It's devastating. But there is a silver lining. Is that, and we're not going to see it, obviously, but from now on, from the time they're this old, how old are they even at this point? It's sort of hard to tell. I think they're children still, wouldn't you argue? I would argue they're teenagers at best. But they're children, right? They're like maybe 9, 10, 12, something like that. Either way, if that, and I'm sure I could do the math with when God Valley happened versus Kuma's age and stuff, but whatever. Point is that now, for the next 3-4 decades, Kuma's going to be happy. We have to take that away from it, because right now, it's very traumatizing, it's very sad. Oda doesn't know how to write a happy backstory to save his fucking life. But, so this is really sad and stuff, but the silver lining here is that he did live, majority of his life, he was happy. We can take that away from the implications here at the end and from Bonnie's own memories and stuff. Her father was a happy man. Ruled the kingdom, had obviously Bonnie and stuff, was a very fun father and stuff like that. Is like the tyrant Kuma, that was just a persona. He lived a happy, for the majority of his life, for the next few decades, he'll be with the ones he loves, he'll be able to help people, he'll be a happy man. And I feel like he will end up dying, if there's any Kuma truly left in that body, he's gonna die a happy man. He might not have the will of D, but he's gonna die with a smile on his, if not on his face, in his heart. And I know that would sound really fucking cheesy, but I mean it, because we aren't going to get to go along and see, and even if we do, we're only going to see a few flashes of the major events. He got married, he became the ruler, and he had Bonnie, and then boom, you know, we'll have like a few panels at best, and it won't really explain that the man might have lived a hard life at the current storyline, and he might have had a terrible, brutal childhood growing up that we saw. But the 40 years in between, he led a good life. He led a happy life, you know? So that's a nice silver lining to take away from this chapter. 100%, 100%. So either way, I know a lot of people didn't care for the chapter because it wasn't about God Valley, though. So I'm not dismayed. I'm really not. So we got more than I expected to in this God Valley shit. I didn't really make the connection at first, like last week and stuff. I was like, yeah, okay. The fact that they were using God Valley, that must have sort of slipped my mind that this is going to be the event and stuff. So when we got this, it was like, oh, hey, get to see, oh, there's Gloriosa, there's Shiki. Shiki's in the manga, yeah! You know, because have we actually ever seen Shiki in the manga? Is this the first time we've seen Shiki actually in the manga? I'm not going to say 100%, but I can't think of another time we saw him. We've heard his name, but have we actually seen him in the manga before? Because I don't think we have. So, I mean, we're getting these sprinkles. It's nice. It's nice. In a Kuma backstory, I didn't expect to get to see Shiki the Golden Lion. Alright? I'm just saying. Either way, that's it from me, guys. Sorry once again about the lateness of the review, but, you know, I had to redo The Office and stuff like that. So, anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you back next time for the next piece of One Piece. I don't believe there's a break next week, so that's awesome. So 1097, just right around the corner in a few days. So that's it from me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you back next time. Bye-bye.